Good morning, my dear friends. Today I am going to teach Chapter 1 Crop Production and Management. In our beautiful surroundings, we can see varieties of living organisms. Yes or no? We can see that like plants is a living organisms. Yes. Animals is a living organisms. Birds is a living organisms. Insects is a living organisms, and microorganisms we can living organisms, but microorganisms we cannot directly see from our naked eyes, but microorganisms we can see with the help of microscope. But every living organisms, if they need to survive in our surroundings, so basically they require three important things. Which are those? Number one, food. Food is very important for every living organism to survive. The second things is air. Air also it's very important for every living organisms. And third one is water. So food, air and water is, we can call it as fundamental requirement for all living organisms. Without these three, that no living organisms can survive. So how food will becomes useful for us? For this, yes, of course, that food is very essential, because basically the food provides energy to us. Suppose if you want to carry out any work, so you require energy. Without energy, how we can work? So energy is very important for every living organism. They need to carry out certain processes in their body. And second things, suppose if any living organisms, if their body parts get injured, okay, so to recover from injuries, okay, so these foods will be helpful. And third things, our growth and development. So every living organisms, their growth and development is very important. So these growth and development also takes place because of the food. And also you can see that reproduction, respiration, excretions, so all these processes, the food plays an important role. So let us now, we will going to focus much more interesting on the food. Okay, so we know that in our surrounding, two kinds of living organisms are there. One is autotrophic living organisms, another one is heterotrophic living organisms. We know that plants are autotrophic living organisms because the plants are preparing food by their own, and whereas animals like human beings, they are heterotrophic living organisms, because those living organisms, they depend food for other living organism. So such kind of living organisms, basically we can call it as heterotrophic living organisms. That means they depend plants and animal as a food product, means food they depend. So if you consider human beings, so in our surrounding, the huge population of human beings we can see, the billions and millions of human beings are present in the world. So every human beings, they need food. So to get the food for everyone, it's not so easy. So then what we have to do? We need to start the production of crops. Okay, so we need to produce crops, we need to grow crops, we need to manage food for everyone. Then only that all human beings can survive. Apart from human beings, animals also. So in this chapter, we are mainly focus on what is crops, what are the steps is needed for growing crops, and how to store the crops, and what are the how that crops, this agriculture, it's came. Okay, so how agriculture was developed, so what are the techniques right now they are implementing in agriculture. So everything we are studying in this chapter. So we can start our journey in the first chapter, that is crop production and management. Crop production and management means what is crop, then how we can produce the crop, okay, and also how we can store and how we can manage the crops for everyone. Okay, so that's why the chapter name is crop production and management. Let us, we will going to start with that our chapter crop production and management. So look at here. So first we need to understand if first we need to understand what is agriculture. So before agriculture, I need to tell something. See, everyone having very curious to know that in olden days, how human beings getting the food. In olden days, if your olden days means I am going to talk about 10,000 BC. So that means before 10,000 BC, okay, the people are nomadic. That means people are, they are searching the food, okay, that means they are searching the food, they are moving from one place to the another place, okay, because in olden days and all, they used to have food like fruits, vegetables, or they are hunting the animals, okay, and then like that they are surviving. And by the time, all the times they are not getting the food, that's why the people who are surviving in by the time, they are moving one place to the another place in search of food, okay, so that's why those people we can call it as nomadics. So then after that, slowly that human beings was developed and was become an intelligent, then he started the growing of crops, he started growing of fruits, vegetables, etc. Okay, so then when he started to growing about these things, then we named as an agriculture. So agriculture means what? Agriculture is a separate branch of science which deals with study about crops. I will tell you what is crops, okay. So related to crops, whatever you are studying crops and crop products and research on them, so that branch we can call it as agriculture, okay. So in by the time only that agricultural practice was started, then after that we are clearly understand what is an agriculture, okay. So what is an agriculture? Agriculture is a separate branch of science which deals with study about crops. So let us, we will going to see what is crops. See, crops means what? In our surrounding, we are growing, means crops means what? If the same kind of plants, if they are grown on a large scale, same kind of crop, same kind of plants, if they are grown on large scale in the same area, that kind of plants we can call it as crops. Did you understand what I'm saying? That when a plants of the same kind are grown and cultivated at one place on a large scale, it is called crop. That means, suppose if we are growing a wheat plants in a large scale on the same place, so then we can call it as wheat plant is a crop. Like that same way you can talk about paddy plants. If the paddy plants, if you are grown in a large scale in the same place, so then we can call it as paddy plant is a crop, okay. So like that, in we can grow varieties of crops, such as we can grow fruits like banana, apple, pineapple, okay. Comes to vegetables like tomato, beans, onion, garlic, ginger. So then like that you can grow varieties of crops, okay. So everyone is understood what is a crop. So what is crop? When plants of the same kind are grown and cultivated at one place on a large scale, it is called crop. Example, you can see crop of wheat. Crop of wheat means that all the plants grown in the field that are wheat, okay. Wheat is a crop. Paddy is a crop. Paddy means rice which is getting from that, okay. Maize is a crop, okay. Millets plants is a crop, okay. Leafy vegetables is a crop. Normal vegetables is a crops, okay. Fruits is also a crops. These are the varieties of crops, okay. So now India is a diverse country, means you can see diversity in India, varieties of crops we can see in India, because India, the climatic conditions is vary from one state to the another state. Yes or no? So that's why we can, according to the suitable climatic conditions, so we can grow suitable crops in that particular place. So that's why in India, having different varieties of climatic conditions, so we can grow varieties of crops in India. So let us we will going to classify the crops. See, basically the crops we can classify in different way. Suppose if you want to classify the crops based on the season, okay, so according to the seasons, the farmers are growing different kind of crops. Okay, so that we can call it as seasonal crops. Okay, by season wise we can classify the crops. And second things, by year wise also, that means some of the crops we can grow in a 1 year, we can grow 2 times of crops. Suppose 1 year some kind of crops we can grow only one kind of crops. So some of the crops it takes 2 years or 1.5 years to grow the crops. So based on the years, based on the season, based on commercial and normal, okay, so based on the different conditions we can classify the crops. Now we can going to classify the crops based on the season into 2 types. Let us, we will going to see what are those crops. So classification of crops, there are 2 types of crops. First one is Kharif crops, another one is Rabi crops. So Kharif crops and Rabi crops we can classify based on the sea. So let us, we will going to see what is Kharif crops. See, Kharif crops means what? The crops which are shown in the rainy season are called Kharif crops. Means generally that in India the rainy seasons, it starts from in the month of June. Okay, so suppose if you are start to growing the crops in the month of June, okay, and harvested in the month of September, in this period of time, whatever the crops you are growing, such kind of crops we can call it as Kharif crops. Okay, so Kharif crops also we can call it as rainy season crops. Okay, and example for Kharif crops you can give paddy is an example, maize is an example, soya bean is an example, groundnuts is an example, cotton is an example. Okay, and other vegetables also you can grow. So these crops basically we can call it as Kharif crops. Okay, so next, Rabi crops. The second type of crop we can call it as Rabi crops. That means the crops grown in the winter season are called Rabi crops. Okay, that means winter season means when it will start, the month of December to May. In December to May, in this duration of periods, whatever the crops we are growing, such kind of crops we can call it as Rabi crops. Okay, example for Rabi crops such as wheat, gram, peanuts, mustard, linseeds. Okay, so these apart from these, some pulses also they are grown, vegetables are also grown. So these crops we can call it as Rabi crops. Understood? So based on the season we are classified the crops into 2 types, that is Kharif crops and another one is Rabi crops. Next, suppose if you want to grow any kind of crops, the whatever the crops may be, it may be fruits, it may be vegetables, it may be cereals, pulses, whatever the crops it may be, any crops if you are growing on the field, that means you need to follow certain procedures, you need to follow certain steps. Okay, and those steps we can call it as basic practices of crop productions, or else basic agricultural practices to grow crops. So let us, we will going to see what are the basic practices are generally followed by the farmers. Okay, so there are 7 steps are there to grow crops, and the first one is preparation of soil, second one sowing of seed, third one adding manures and fertilizers, fourth one irrigation, Fifth one, protecting from weeds. Sixth one, harvesting. Seventh one, storage. Okay, so let us, we will going to study detailed way about that, these steps. So we can start with first preparation of soil. So what is preparation of soil? Preparation of soil means loosening of the soil. Suppose if you are going the first step, what farmers is used to do it is, he will visit the field in the farm. So there first he will started to loosening the soil. So the question, why we have to loosening the soil? Why we need to do loosening the soil is because whatever the seeds you are putting into the soil, the seed after germinating, the roots will going to be formed. Those root, it should be easily penetrate in the soil. If the root is not penetrate inside the soil, then what will happen? The plants cannot grow. Okay. And second things, if you are loosening the soil, there will be a more microorganisms which are present in the soil. These microorganisms which is helpful for to increase the nutrients in the soil. That is the second thing. And third important thing is, okay, so the third important thing is, when you loosen the soil, the plants easily get the oxygen, means other gases, whatever the gases is needed for the plants, so it will easily get it. So then only that plants can healthily grow in the field. So that's why we need to do the preparation of soil. What do you mean by preparation of soil? Preparation of soil means loosening of the soil. Okay, the loosening of the soil is known as preparation of soil. So how we can loosen the soil? Let us, we will going to see that. See, preparation of soil we can do by the instrument, we can call it as plow. Plow is the instrument. So using this plow instrument, we can do the loosening of soil. The loosening of the soil, that process, the process of loosening of soil, we can call it as tilling or plowing. Tilling or plowing, we can call it as the process of loosening of soil. That process name we can call it as tilling and plowing. So this tilling and plowing we can do by plow. Plow is the instrument. So let us, we will going to see what are that means different kind of plow is there. See, look at here that they are mentioning two kinds of plows are there. Basically this varieties of plow, you can see that. So this done by using the plow are the made of wood or iron. If the soil is very dry, it may need watering before plowing. The plow field may have big pieces of soil called crumbs. It is necessary to break these crumbs with the plank. That means, suppose if you are loosening the soil, generally that soil will becomes very hard. Before loosening the soil becomes very hard. If too much hard soil is there, then we have to first watering we have to do. So after watering, then we can do that plowing process. It will becomes very easy. Sometimes what will happens when we are plowing, the big that rock size, big rock size, the soils, it will come out from the field. So those soil we can call it as crumbs. Okay, crumbs means the big pieces of soil, we can call it as crumbs. Okay, so different kind of plow will be there according to the what kind of plow is needed, what kind of crops you are growing, how much that loosening of soil is necessary. Based on that you can use different kind of plow. Okay, so next, so look at here that nowadays the plow instruments which is also available in the form of cultivator. Okay, so this is that cultivator, basically these cultivators which is fixed in the tractor. So using tractor we can use this cultivator. In olden days, plow is used by that animal force. So animals are dragging that plow and we are loosening the soil. But nowadays the tractors are there, using technology, using cultivator, we are loosening the soil. So what is the use of tractor, means cultivator? So why we can use that tractor cultivator? Because tractor cultivator if you are using, the labors you can reduce it, one thing. Second things, you can save the time. That's why you can prefer that cultivator. So it will save that labor as well as time. Okay, so look at here that plow. So basically that the farmers are in the field, they are using plow and they are loosening the soil using animal force. So you can see that different parts of the plow. So look at here, just I was encircling in this. So this is that the plow instrument. So in this plow instrument, that wooden one, can you see that wooden one? This wooden one we can call it as plow shaft. The wooden one part we can call it as plow shaft. The metal which is made by iron, so this metal we can call it as plowshare, and this wooden one is connected with that beam. Okay, so there are three parts are there in the plow: beam, plow shaft and plowshare. Okay, so plow is being used since ancient times for tilling the soil, adding fertilizers to the crops, removing the weeds, crapping of the soil, etc. That means the plow is not only useful for just loosening of the soil. When you are adding manure or fertilizers, to properly mix with that manure and fertilizers, I will tell you what is an manure and fertilizers. Okay, so just now for mixing that manure and fertilizers, so that plow also is used. Next, basically the plow which contains a strong triangular iron strips called plowshare. The main part of the plow is a long log of wood which is called plow shaft. There is a handle at one end of the shaft. Okay, there are three parts are there in the plow, that is beam, plow shaft and plowshare. Yeah, look at here the hoe. See, basically hoe is also, we can call it as agricultural implements. So this is also one of the agricultural tool. So basically this hoe which is useful for to remove of the weeds. Weeds means what? Weeds are unwanted plants. So when we are growing a crops, the unwanted plants are also growing. So then such kind of unwanted plants we need to remove. Otherwise these unwanted plants can create the harmness to the crops, so that we will not going to get the healthy crops. That's why we need to remove these unwanted plants. So to remove these unwanted plants, we are using hoe. Hoe is also it will remove the weeds, one thing, and also which is helpful for loosening of the soil. See, look at here cultivator. Already I told you that if you are using cultivator, that one is labor and time will going to be saved. Next, sowing. So after completion of preparation of soil, next we can start with sowing. What is sowing? Sowing means, sowing is a process of scattering of seed. Suppose, okay, now that soil is prepared now. Now we can bring that seeds, and we need to be the seed we need to be put in the soil. Okay, the process of scattering of seeds in the soil, we can call it as sowing. But before putting the seeds into the soil, we need to take certain kind of precautions. So what are the precautions we need to take? So before sowing any kind of seeds, so we need to take three important steps. The first one, we need to do selection of seed. Selection of seed is the first step. Before sowing of any seed, we need to do selection of seed. So what is selection of seed? Suppose, see, if you are growing a wheat in the field, so directly you cannot take the wheat and you can just scatter the wheat on the field. It will not going to come. So what you need to do, you have to take the wheats and you need to select the healthy wheat. So the healthy wheat, when you are going to be showing on the field, then only you can grow that healthy product of wheat. Otherwise you will not going to get. Some dummy wheats are there. These dummy wheats cannot germinate. Okay, did you understand what I am saying that? So that's why we need to follow that, the first method, selection of seeds. So then how we can do the selection of seeds, that I will tell you. Okay, so second one, after selection of seed, next we have to put that seed with that distance between two seeds. We have to maintain some certains between one seed to the another seed. Suppose if all the seeds, if you are putting it one particular place, so then it's overcrowded, all the seeds are overcrowded, so from that healthy plants cannot grow. Okay, so that's why we need to one seed to the another seed, we need to give the gap. That is the second thing. The third precaution will be how much depth of seeds we need to be put. That is very very important. Too much depth, if you are put the seed, then it was covered with the soil, it is very tough to that the particular seeds can get germinated. So that's why proper depth of the soil only we can showing the seed, then only we can grow healthy crops. These are the three important precautions we need to take before showing of the seed. So let us first, we will going to see that selection of seed, how we can do the selection of seed. See, if you want to do the selection of seeds, so what you have to do is you have to take a container or beaker container or whatever that. So in the container you have to fill with the water. Okay, then whatever the seed you are going to grow in the field, those seeds you have to soak in the container. When you soaked in the container, so what will happens, you can see in the diagram, so that light seeds, the dummy seeds, it will start floating on the surface of the water. The healthy seed will get soaked and dummy seeds will be started to floating on the surface of the water. So from this what will happens, we can easily remove that dummy seeds and we can collect the healthy seed from the container. After selecting the healthy seeds from the container, then those seeds are ready for showing the field. Okay, so now you can see that, see the farmers are started to showing the seed. You can see that the funnel like structures which is present. So when they are the plowing also doing, simultaneously they are scattering the seeds with the help of funnel. Okay, so this is traditional tool. In traditional tool, the funnel shaped structure, using funnel shaped structure they are doing the sowing process. Okay, and some people are also just scattering the seed first and then they used to do the plowing. That is also that one of the technique of doing the sowing process. So next, now modern tool, what is the modern tools are used for sowing process. In modern days farmers are using seed drill. In modern days the farmers are using seed drill. Okay, nowadays the seed drill is used by sowing with the help of tractors. That means seed drills are connected with the tractors, they will fill that all the seeds in the seed drills, so at different interval of time. Okay, so these seeds are showing by that at proper distance only, so that tractor will going to be shown by the seeds. Okay, so this we can call it as seed drills. So next, adding manure and fertilizers, the third important. Okay, now preparation of soil is done. After preparation of soil, next we have shown the seeds on the field. After showing that the seeds on the field, the third important is we need to add manure and fertilizers. So first we need to understand what is manure and fertilizers. So manure we can call it as organic matter. So organic matter we can call it as manure. What is this organic matter? That means suppose in your home whatever the kitchen waste are there, okay, the waste fruits, waste vegetables, okay, waste plant products, waste animal products, so these waste we are dumped at one particular place. So those waste they will decompose and converted into humus. Okay, that humus only, humus means they are rich in nutrients, plant nutrients. Okay, so that we can call it as humus. That overall, that decomposed matter we can call it as manure. So these manure are very very essential for all the plants, whatever the plants you are growing on the field na, so you need to be add manure. When you are adding manure, so you will get good products, good yield you will going to get it from the crops. Okay, so basically these manure we can grow in the field. Okay, means we can prepare in the field. Manures is easily you can prepare by yourself. Whatever the plants waste or their animal waste, just dump in a one particular place, let it be decomposed for 1 month or 2 months, then automatically that the manure will gets ready. So that manure you can easily put into that in the field, so that you will get the healthy plants. And third important things, if you are adding manure to the soil fertility will increases, one thing, and also the humus of the soil will becomes increases. And it's always this, it's a natural, manure is a natural, so that there is no harmful for the soil, as well as there is no harmful for the plants. So it will helpful for to grow the healthy products. That is why we need to use the manure. Okay, coming to the fertilizers. Fertilizers we can call it as inorganic matter. Fertilizers are inorganic matter. Why fertilizers are inorganic matter? Why? Because fertilizers are prepared from minerals. Fertilizers are not obtained from any waste product of plants and animals, and fertilizers are purely obtained from using chemicals, using minerals they are prepared. So that's why fertilizers we can call it as inorganic matter. Okay, and also fertilizers are very rich in particular kind of nutrients. Okay, so that's why if you are too much of fertilizers, if you are using in the soil will loses its fertility. That means slowly the soil will gets polluted, and also water will gets polluted, and also that soil will loses all kind of fertility in it. So that's why we should not use too much of fertilizers. Instead that we can use manure will be the best choice. Okay, so you can see that basically that what is manure is explained, that whatever that animal waste is there, plant waste is there, that decomposed matter only they can call it as manure. And look at here, that fertilizers are purely, it's prepared from industry. Okay, we cannot prepare these fertilizers in the field. Okay, so if you are using fertilizers also, it will going to get the good yield. Next, you can see that variety kinds of fertilizers are available in the market, and also fertilizers are so expensive, it is not easily available in the market. Means available, it will be available in the market, but it's not cheap. But manure are cheap, but fertilizers are economically high cost. Next, adding manure and fertilizers. Okay, so what are the advantages of adding manure? See, basically that there are, just now only I told you, if you are adding manure to the soil, you will get lot of advantages, such as one thing, if you are adding manure, water retention capacity will be increases. That means water holding capacity. Suppose if you are adding manure, so water absorption capacity in the soil will becomes more, so that whenever the plants need water, it can easily get from the soil. This is the first advantage. The second advantage, basically the manure which is helpful for to exchange the gases. Suppose, see, basically plants require nitrogen gas for converting nitrogenous compound. Okay, so to absorb this nitrogen gas and converting into nitrogenous compound, so that the soil should be loosened, then it can easily absorb like that. Okay, it can easily exchange the gases, and that is the another advantage. Okay, and that next advantage is soil is basically it is friendly microbes. Suppose if you're adding manure, so microorganisms will not going to get die, so microorganisms will be increases. When microbes gets increases in the soil, so whatever that waste plant and animal products which is present in the soil, it will easily converted into fertile soil. Okay, that's why microorganisms are very important in soil. And next, it increases the soil texture, so it improves the texture of the soil. That means whatever that texture is there soil, so that texture That means that that fertility will get increases because of adding manure. These are the advantages of using manure. Okay, suppose if you are using fertilizers, what will happens? If you are using fertilizers, then soil will, water retention capacity will becomes decreases, and soil will loses its fertility. Okay, and you cannot grow a healthy crops in that particular field. Okay, that's why rather than we can prefer fertilizers, better we can go for manure. Okay, next activity. So in this activity they are telling that, so take moong or grams, you can take any kind of moongs or grams seeds and germinate them. Select 3 equal size seedling out of these. Now take 3 empty glasses or similar vessels, mark them A, B and C. To glass A, add little amount of soil mixed with the little cow dung manure. In glass B, put the same amount of soil mixed with the little urea. Take the same amount of soil in glass C without adding anything. Now pour the same amount of water in each glass and plant the seedlings in them. Keep them in a safe place and water them daily. After 7 to 10 days, observe their growth. Okay, so did you understand what I am saying that?